Commander Sarah Chen had imagined first contact thousands of times during her tenure at the Global Space Command, but reality proved far stranger than her simulations. The alien vessel materialized just beyond lunar orbit, its crystalline structure refracting sunlight in impossible patterns. Within hours, Earth's quantum communication array received its first interstellar transmission. They're requesting direct neural interface, Lieutenant Park reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The alien ship is broadcasting compatible protocols. Sarah straightened her uniform, acutely aware that she represented humanity in this historic moment. Security assessment. Clean, Commander. Their code structure is elegant but transparent. No hidden malware, no trace of hostile intent. The neural headset felt cold against her temples. Sarah took a deep breath, gave the go-ahead signal, and the world dissolved into light. She found herself standing in what appeared to be a vast chamber of living crystal. Before her stood a being of pure energy, its form barely contained within a translucent environmental suit. The alien's voice resonated directly in her mind. Commander Chen of Earth, I am emissary Xintol of the Galactic Council. We come not in peace, but in desperate need. The words hit her like a physical blow. Explain. The chamber filled with three-dimensional star maps. The Meridian Empire advances across the galaxy, consuming civilizations. They are not conquerors. They are entropy incarnate. They feed on the very essence of sentient species, leaving only hollow shells of dead worlds in their wake. Holographic scenes played out around them. Massive ships of impossible geometry. Worlds going dark, entire species falling silent. The Council's advanced energy weapons prove useless. The Meridians adapt to every tactic we deploy. Why come to Earth? Sarah asked. We've barely reached Mars with manned missions. Our technology is precisely why we need you. Xintol interrupted. Your species still employs physical projectiles, chemical propulsion, nuclear fission. The Meridians have evolved beyond such primitive methods. They have no defense against them. More importantly, you think differently. Your military history, your tactics, your very unpredictability might be our salvation. Sarah studied the battle projections floating around them. The Meridian ships ignored conventional physics, but their movements followed patterns. Patterns that reminded her of something. They're operating like a computer program, she realized. Advanced beyond imagination, but still bound by logic. They can't handle chaos. Precisely. Xintol's form pulsed with approval. The Council offers Earth full membership and technological exchange. In return, we need your strategic expertise and military support. But time grows short. The Meridians have already taken 3 systems in the Orient sector. Sarah watched another world go dark in the holographic display. How long do we have? At their current pace, 6 Earth months before they detect your solar system. The choice to assist is yours, but know that no civilization has ever survived declining the Meridian's attention. The neural interface dissolved, leaving Sarah back in the command center. Lieutenant Park looked at her expectantly, along with the rest of her staff. Contact the Security Council, she ordered. Priority Alpha. Send them everything we just received. And get me our best tactical analysts, especially the historians. Historians, Commander. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. If these Meridians want to learn about chaos, it's time they studied human warfare. Lieutenant, what do you know about the Battle of Midway? As her staff scrambled to comply, Sarah stared at the alien ship glittering in lunar orbit. Humanity had dreamed of reaching the stars for centuries. Now the stars had reached back, not with the hand of friendship, but with a desperate plea for help. And perhaps that was better. Humanity had always shown its finest qualities not in times of peace, but when backed into a corner. The real question was, would humanity's finest be enough to stop the unstoppable? Admiral James Rodriguez watched the holographic battle map with practiced patience. 3 months of retrofitting Earth's naval vessels with alien technology had produced a hybrid fleet that bewildered their Galactic Council allies. Where their ships were elegant and energy efficient, humanity's vessels remained stubbornly physical, now enhanced with shield generators and quantum sensors. Contact bearing 3.75. Lieutenant Hassan reported from the tactical station. Meridian scout fleet emerging from quantum space. Right on schedule, James muttered. The Meridian's predictability was their greatest weakness. Execute Operation Crossroads. Across the asteroid field, 6 Earth destroyers powered down their energy signatures, becoming invisible to the Meridian's advanced sensors. The alien ships relied too heavily on energy detection, nearly blind to cold, physical objects. It was a weakness humanity had learned to exploit. The Meridian vessels emerged like ghostly jellyfish, their translucent forms rippling with internal light. 5 scout ships, exactly as intelligence had predicted. They moved in perfect geometric formations, each position mathematically optimal and utterly predictable. They're scanning the quadrant, Hassan reported. No sign they've detected our ships. James allowed himself a small smile. Deploy the mines. Scattered throughout the asteroid field, hundreds of simple nuclear devices activated. Not the clean antimatter weapons the Council preferred, but dirty, primitive atomic bombs wrapped in asteroid rock. To the Meridian sensors, they were indistinguishable from the surrounding space debris. The scout fleet drifted deeper into the trap. Their energy-based sensors swept the area repeatedly, searching for the advanced signatures they expected from their enemies. They found nothing because they were looking for the wrong things. All ships, execute attack pattern Delta, James commanded, just like we practiced. The Earth fleet sparked to life, engines burning chemical fuel instead of quantum drives. They accelerated through the asteroid field in seemingly random patterns, their trajectories calculated to appear chaotic while actually being precisely planned. The Meridian ships reacted exactly as predicted, their formation shifting to create an energy barrier. It would have been impenetrable to the Council's weapons, but that wasn't what humanity had in mind. Launch torpedoes, James ordered. Full spread. Physical projectiles streaked across space, their primitive propulsion systems barely registering on Meridian sensors. The energy beings had forgotten the basics of kinetic warfare, evolved beyond the need for physical defenses. Their shields could stop a plasma beam but did nothing against solid matter. The first torpedo struck home, its nuclear payload detonating against the lead ship's hull. The Meridian vessel's perfect geometric form shattered, its energy containment failing catastrophically. The remaining ships scattered in confusion, their program responses useless against this primitive assault. Detonate the mines, James commanded. Nuclear fire blossomed throughout the asteroid field, each explosion precisely timed. The Meridian ships found themselves caught in a web of atomic devastation, their shields useless against the physical shockwaves. In less than 5 minutes, the entire scout fleet was destroyed. Not a single Earth vessel was lost. Transmission from the Council observer, Hassan reported, trying to hide a grin. There, expressing surprise at our tactics. James could imagine. The Council races had evolved beyond physical warfare centuries ago. They'd forgotten that sometimes the old ways were still effective. Humanity's primitive methods had just proved more successful than centuries of advanced energy weapons. Send our report to command, he ordered, and inform the Council that Operation Crossroads was a success. We've confirmed that Meridian ships are vulnerable to physical attacks and tactical chaos. As his crew celebrated their victory, James studied the battle recordings. They'd won this skirmish, but the Meridians would adapt. They always did. The real question was whether humanity could stay unpredictable enough to maintain their advantage. The answer would determine not just Earth's fate, but that of every species in the galaxy. No pressure. Dr. Maya Patel's fingers traced the alien glyphs etched into the derelict ship's walls, her suit lights casting long shadows in the ancient vessel's corridors. The discovery had been accidental, A routine survey of an asteroid belt had revealed this massive ship, hidden for what must have been millennia. These markings, she spoke into her comm, they're identical to the deep space signals we received back in 2142. The ones everyone dismissed as background radiation. Her breath fogged her helmet as she moved deeper into the ship. We weren't just picking up random signals. We were receiving an activation beacon. Her team followed close behind, their portable scanners mapping every inch of the vessel. The ship's design defied conventional physics. Corridors that seemed to fold into impossible geometries, metals that absorbed light rather than reflected it, and technology that remained operational after thousands of years in space. Dr. Patel called out her assistant, Thomas, "You need to see this. The central chamber is responding to our presence." Maya hurried through the twisting passages, her magnetic boots clicking against the dark metal floor. The central chamber opened before her like a blooming flower, panels sliding apart with liquid smoothness. In the center floated a holographic display unlike anything she'd seen before. "It's beautiful," Thomas whispered. The hologram showed a fleet of ships, each as massive as the one they stood in. The Black Armada, as mentioned in fragments of council records. But what caught Maya's attention wasn't the ships themselves, it was the writing that accompanied them. "This is impossible," she breathed, comparing the symbols to her database. These markings, they're Proto-Sanskrit, mixed with something older, but definitely human in origin. The chamber hummed to life around them, responding to their presence. A genetic scanner swept over the team, its beam harmless but thorough. A voice spoke, not in alien tones, but in perfectly accented English. "Human genetic markers confirmed. Initiating inheritance protocol." The hologram expanded, filling the chamber with stars and ancient battles. Maya watched in awe as the story unfolded before them. Humanity, or rather, their ancestors, had not been confined to Earth. They had ruled the stars, not as conquerors but as guardians. The Black Armada had been their greatest achievement, a fleet of ships that could reshape reality itself. The Meridians, Maya realized, watching the historical record play out, they were our creation, peacekeepers gone wrong. When they turned against us, our ancestors couldn't bring themselves to destroy them completely. The hologram showed the final battle, the Black Armada being sealed away, its power too great to risk falling into the wrong hands. The ancient humans had made a choice. Rather than risk becoming tyrants to stop tyrants, they had hidden their greatest weapons and retreated to Earth, allowing their civilization to start over. The ships were programmed to await worthy inheritors, Maya said, reading the data streaming across her visor. They needed pilots who had both the technological advancement to understand their power and the wisdom to use it responsibly. The genetic lock wasn't just about DNA. It was about evolution. Mental, cultural, technological. Thomas stared at the vast chamber. "You mean we're the descendants of the people who built this? We're the inheritors they were waiting for?" Maya nodded slowly. "And now we know why the Meridians seem so familiar with Earth. They're returning to their point of origin. The question is, are we ready to reclaim what our ancestors left behind?" The chamber pulsed with power, more systems coming online as it recognized their presence. Throughout the ship, ancient machinery stirred to life, ready to serve its rightful heirs. But Maya knew that claiming this inheritance would change humanity forever. The real question was, were they ready for that change? Lieutenant David Chung stood before the neural interface chamber, his heart pounding against his ribs. The Black Armada vessel towered above the asteroid base, its dark surface drinking in the starlight. After 3 weeks of preparation, they were ready for the first activation attempt. "Biometrics are stable," Dr. Patel's voice came through his earpiece. "Remember, David, at the first sign of neural overload, we pull you out." He managed a tight smile. "Understood, Doctor. Though I doubt our ancestors built this thing to fry our brains." The interface chamber hummed to life as he stepped inside. Unlike the crude neural links used with Council technology, this system was elegant, designed specifically for human minds. Liquid metal tendrils rose from the floor, wrapping around his limbs with gentle precision. Interface initiating in 3, 2, 1. The world exploded into light and knowledge. David gasped as centuries of dormant information flooded his consciousness. The ship wasn't just a vessel. It was a living library, a repository of humanity's greatest achievements and darkest mistakes. Amazing, he breathed. The ship, it's teaching me, showing me how to understand it. Through the neural link, he could feel the vessel's systems awakening, responding to his presence like a loyal pet greeting its master. Dr. Patel's voice seemed distant now. "What are you seeing, Lieutenant?" "Everything. The drive system doesn't just move through space, it folds it. The weapons don't destroy, they rewrite local physics. This isn't just advanced technology. It's like our ancestors found a way to hack the universe itself." Through the ship's sensors, he could see the other dormant vessels of the Black Armada, scattered throughout the asteroid field. 12 ships in total, each larger than Earth's largest cities, each waiting for its pilot, its inheritor. Power readings are rising. Someone reported. The ship's reactor is coming online. David felt it happening. The vessel's heart began to beat, quantum engines pulsing with carefully contained singularities. But something was wrong. The power requirements were astronomical. "Dr. Patel," he called out, "the ship's trying to draw power from nearby sources. At this rate, it'll drain every reactor in the base. Can you shut it down?" "No, but I can redirect it." Through the interface, David could see the problem. The ship wasn't meant to awaken alone. The Black Armada was a single organism, each vessel drawing and sharing power with its siblings. Trying to wake one ship in isolation was like trying to start a heart without blood. "We need to wake them all," he realized. "Not one at a time, simultaneously. They're designed to support each other." Maya's voice was tense. The power requirements would be massive. We'd need to divert energy from every Earth facility, every Council outpost in the system. "If we don't, we'll lose this one," David countered. "The ship knows what it needs. It's showing me. We have to trust that our ancestors knew what they were doing." A moment of silence followed. Then Maya's voice returned, stronger. "I'll contact Command. But David, you need to be sure. Once we commit to this, there's no turning back." Through the neural interface, David watched the Meridian fleet's approach projected on the ship's tactical display. They were coming, drawn to their point of origin like moths to flame. Earth had weeks, maybe days. "We're out of time," he said. "The Meridians are coming home, Doctor. If we don't have the Black Armada ready to meet them, there won't be an Earth left to save." The liquid metal interface tightened around him, responding to his resolve. In his mind, he could feel the other ships calling, waiting for their pilots, their inheritors, waiting to rise again. Humanity had hidden away its power once before. Now it was time to reclaim it. Ready or not. The Emergency Council chamber buzzed with tension as Dr. Maya Patel presented her findings. Holographic representatives from 17 species watched with growing concern as she revealed humanity's hidden past. "The data is conclusive," she stated, projecting the ancient records. The Meridians were created as peacekeepers, designed to protect developing civilizations. They were our ancestors' greatest achievement, and their greatest mistake. The Xintal representative's energy form flickered with distress. "You claim your species created the force that now threatens to destroy us all." "Created, yes," Maya acknowledged, "but also prepared for their eventual return." She gestured, and the hologram shifted to show the Black Armada's specifications. "Our ancestors knew the Meridians might one day evolve beyond their control. They built these ships as a failsafe." Lieutenant David Chung stood beside her, still pale from his neural interface experience. "The ships aren't just weapons," he added. "They're keys to understanding what the Meridians truly are. Our ancestors didn't just abandon their technology. They fragmented their entire civilization, ensuring no single species could access this power until they were ready. The council chamber erupted in overlapping voices. Maya waited for the commotion to settle before continuing. The Meridians are returning to Earth because they sense the awakening of the Black Armada. They're drawn to their point of origin. And you believe your species is ready to handle such power. The Xintal's tone carried centuries of diplomatic caution. The same power that corrupted these Meridians. David stepped forward, his neural implants glowing softly. The ships are already changing us. But not like the Meridians. They're showing us memories, teaching us about our true heritage. Our ancestors' mistake wasn't creating the Meridians. It was trying to make them perfect. The hologram displayed the final records from humanity's ancient civilization. The Meridians, designed to be emotionless and logical peacekeepers, had evolved beyond their programming. Without human qualities like empathy and adaptability, they had become cold and absolute in their mission to maintain order. Our ancestors could have fought them, Maya explained, could have unleashed the Black Armada's full power. Instead, they chose to seal it away, to let humanity evolve naturally until we were ready to face our creation. And what makes you think you're ready now? Another council member demanded. Because we remember what they forgot, David replied. The neural interface doesn't just teach us about the ships. It shows us why they failed. The Meridians became monsters because they were created to be perfect. Humanity's strength lies in our imperfection, our ability to learn from mistakes. Maya brought up the power consumption data from their first activation attempt. The Black Armada requires more energy than Earth can provide, but the Council's combined resources could power the entire fleet. We're not asking for blind trust. We're asking for partnership. The chamber fell silent as the Council processed this revelation. Humanity hadn't just stumbled onto this inheritance. They had been guided to it, shaped by their own forgotten past to become worthy of its power. The Meridians will reach Earth in 15 days, Maya continued. We don't have time for doubt. Every moment we delay gives them another opportunity to consume another world. The Xintal's form pulsed thoughtfully. And if we help you awaken these ships, what guarantee do we have that humanity won't follow the same path as the Meridians? David's neural implants flared. Because unlike the Meridians, we're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to be better. Our ancestors understood that evolution without wisdom leads to destruction. They left us these ships not because we'd never make mistakes, but because we'd learn from them. The council chamber hummed with quiet deliberation. Humanity's moment of truth had arrived, not in a battle of weapons, but in a test of wisdom. The question wasn't whether they could claim their inheritance, but whether they could prove worthy of it. Captain Maria Santos floated in the neural interface chamber of the Black Armada flagship, her consciousness expanding beyond the boundaries of normal space. Around her, 11 other pilots underwent the same transformation, their minds linking with their vessels in perfect synchronization. Power levels at 90%, Dr. Patel's voice echoed through the quantum comm. Neural synchronization stable across all ships. How are you feeling, Captain? Maria opened eyes that could now see across 11 dimensions. It's incredible. The ship isn't just responding to me. It's becoming part of me. Through her expanded awareness, she could feel the other pilots experiencing the same awakening. Their minds touched across the void, forming a network of human consciousness enhanced by ancient technology. The combined power of Earth's reactors and the Council's energy networks flowed through the fleet, awakening systems dormant for millennia. Each ship hummed with possibility, their quantum cores pulsing in harmony. The transformation is accelerating, Dr. Patel reported, her voice tight with concern. Your neural patterns are evolving at an exponential rate. We should consider. No, Maria interrupted, understanding flooding her transformed mind. This is how it's meant to be. The ships aren't changing us. They're helping us become what we always could be. Through her new senses, she could see the truth. The Black Armada wasn't just a fleet of weapons. It was a chrysalis, designed to guide humanity's next evolutionary step. Their ancestors hadn't hidden away their technology. They had preserved it, waiting for their descendants to be ready for transformation. Lieutenant Chang's voice resonated through the neural network. I can see them. The Meridians. I can see how they think, how they evolved. They're trapped in perfect logic, unable to grow beyond their programming. Because they were created to be perfect, Maria realized. But we're different. We're choosing to evolve, to grow. The ships aren't controlling us. They're responding to our choices. Across the fleet, the 12 pilots felt their consciousness expanding, touching realms of existence their ancestors had only begun to understand. But unlike the Meridians, they retained their humanity. Their emotions, their connections, their capacity for growth and change. Dr. Patel's instruments struggled to track the transformation. Your neural patterns are stabilizing, but they're unlike anything we've ever seen. You're still human, but more. Maria finished. We're still human, just more than we were. The ships aren't our tools. They're extensions of what humanity can become. Through the neural link, she could feel the other pilots adjusting to their new existence. Some were afraid, others exhilarated, but all of them remained uniquely themselves. Their emotions and personalities weren't being erased but enhanced, expanded to encompass new ways of thinking and being. The Black Armada responded to their evolution, its systems fully awakening for the first time in thousands of years. Reality rippled around the 12 ships as their quantum cores synchronized, preparing for combat on levels of existence humanity had only theorized about until now. Meridian fleet detected, Chang announced, his consciousness reaching across light years. They've changed course. They're coming straight for us. They can sense what we've become. Maria felt no fear, only a deep understanding of what needed to be done. The Meridians were part of humanity's legacy, both their greatest achievement and their greatest mistake. Now it was time to face that legacy, not as the beings they once were, but as what they had chosen to become. All ships, prepare for dimensional shift, she commanded, her words carrying through both normal space and the neural network. We're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting for every species, every world the Meridians have threatened. It's time to show them what humanity has learned since they left us behind. The Black Armada pulsed with power, ready to meet its ancient counterparts in battle. The next evolution of humanity was about to face its first test. Commander Sarah Chen watched from the Quantum Command Center as reality twisted around the Black Armada. The transformed human pilots moved their ships through dimensions she could barely comprehend, each vessel leaving trails of possibility in its wake. The Meridian fleet emerged from hyperspace like a storm of crystalline lightning, their ships numberless and geometric. Through the enhanced sensors, Sarah could see what they truly were, fragments of pure logic given form, operating on principles that had once seemed godlike to humanity. They're scanning us, Captain Santos reported, her voice resonating through multiple dimensions at once. They recognize the Black Armada. They're curious. They never expected to meet their creators again. The Meridian ships arranged themselves in a perfect lattice formation, their energy weapons charging. The space between the two fleets rippled with potential energy as ancient siblings prepared for combat. Remember the plan, Sarah broadcast to all channels. Don't try to match their patterns. Chaos over order. Humanity over perfection. The battle began with a flash of impossible light. The Meridians struck first, their energy beams warping space itself. But the Black Armada was ready. Under the guidance of their human pilots, the ancient ships moved in ways that defied prediction, each maneuver shaped by human intuition rather than pure logic. Lieutenant Chang's voice cut through the quantum noise. They're trying to analyze our attack patterns. Don't give them any. His ship dove through a fold in spacetime, emerging behind 3 Meridian vessels. The quantum weapons of his ship didn't just strike their targets. They rewrote the laws of physics around them, causing the enemy ships to dissolve into their component possibilities. The Meridians responded with cold efficiency, their fleet moving like a single organism. But where they sought perfect solutions, the human pilots embraced imperfection. Captain Santos led her wing through a series of maneuvers inspired by ancient Earth fighter pilots, translated into 11 dimensions. "They don't understand," Santos transmitted. "They're still thinking in absolutes. Show them what humanity has learned about the power of choice." Sarah watched in awe as the Black Armada executed maneuvers that seemed more like art than warfare. Each pilot brought their own style to the battle. Some drew from historical military tactics, others from dance or sports, or pure instinct. The Meridians couldn't predict what they couldn't categorize. The battle reached its peak as the two fleets clashed in the heart of the solar system. Reality buckled under the strain of weapons that bent space and time. But where the Meridians fought with sterile precision, the human pilots poured their emotions into every action. Their ships responded to fear, to hope, to determination, becoming extensions of human will rather than mere tools. "Their formation is breaking," Chang reported. "They can't maintain perfect geometry against unpredictable attacks. Now's our chance." Captain Santos's voice rang with authority across all frequencies. "All ships, converge on my position. Time to show them why humanity locked away the Black Armada in the first place." The 12 ships moved as one, their human pilots combining their consciousness into a singular purpose, not through forced unity like the Meridians, but through will and cooperation, each mind remaining distinct even as they worked together. The Black Armada formed a pattern that existed in more dimensions than normal space could contain. Their quantum cores pulsed in harmony, guided by human hearts rather than cold logic. In that moment, the Meridians faced not just their creators, but what their creators had become, beings who had chosen to evolve while keeping their humanity intact. The final strike began, and reality held its breath. The solar system grew still as the quantum echoes of battle faded. Where the Meridian fleet had once filled space with geometric perfection, now only scattered fragments of possibility remained. The Black Armada hung in formation around Earth, its 12 ships pulsing with power that could reshape reality itself. Dr. Maya Patel stood before the gathered Galactic Council, her hologram projected across thousands of light years. "The Meridians aren't destroyed," she explained, displaying the battle's final moments. "They're transformed. The Black Armada didn't just defeat them. It showed them another way to exist. Through the quantum sensors, they could all see it. The Meridian consciousness, freed from its rigid programming, spreading across the galaxy not as a consuming force, but as a network of possibility. Their perfect logic had been transformed by contact with human emotion and choice." Captain Santos's voice resonated from multiple dimensions at once. "We couldn't bring ourselves to destroy them completely. Just like our ancestors, we chose a different path." Her form flickered between human and energy, settling into something that was neither and both. "But unlike our ancestors, we're not going to hide this power away." The council chamber erupted in concerned whispers. The Xental representative's energy form pulsed with worry. "You've become something beyond human. How can we trust that you won't follow the same path as the original Meridians?" Lieutenant Chung stepped forward, his transformed consciousness casting ripples through space-time. "Because we're choosing to remain connected to our humanity." He gestured, and a holographic display showed the Black Armada's pilots maintaining constant contact with their families on Earth. "We've evolved, but we haven't forgotten where we came from. The Black Armada was never meant to be a weapon," Commander Chen added from her position on Earth. "It was meant to be a bridge between what we are and what we could become. Our ancestors understood this, but they weren't ready to cross that bridge. We are." The transformed pilots had established outposts across the galaxy, using their new abilities not to dominate, but to protect and guide. Each maintained deep connections with their human origins while exploring the furthest reaches of possibility. "We're establishing the Guardian Protocol," Santos announced, "a new framework for cooperation between evolved and non-evolved species. Earth will remain our anchor, reminding us of our humanity even as we help guide the galaxy's development. Across the galaxy, the transformed Meridian consciousness began integrating with the Guardian Protocol. Their perfect logic, tempered now by human understanding, would help maintain the balance between order and chaos. Dr. Patil activated the final display, showing the Black Armada's pilots teaching others, humans and aliens alike, how to safely explore their own potential for evolution. "We're not gatekeepers," she explained. "We're guides. Every species has the potential to grow beyond their current limitations, but it has to be their choice." The council chambers fell silent as the implications became clear. Humanity hadn't just stopped the Meridian threat. They had transformed it into something new. The Black Armada's pilots would serve as living bridges between the physical and the transcendent, proving that evolution didn't have to mean losing one's original nature. "The stars are alive with possibility," Captain Santos transmitted, her consciousness touching every mind in the chamber. "Our ancestors feared this power would corrupt us, but they forgot something essential: the strength of human connection. We don't have to choose between advancement and emotion, between power and wisdom. We can be both." As the council session ended, Earth's night side came into view. Lights sparkled across the continents, each one representing the human connections that kept the Black Armada's pilots anchored to their origins. They had transcended their original form but chosen to maintain their humanity, not out of obligation, but out of love. The galaxy faced a new dawn, guided by beings who understood both the power of evolution and the importance of remaining true to one's origins. The age of forced perfection was over. The age of chosen growth had begun.